You ever wonder how your phone knows exactly what word you're about to type? Or how a chatbot can just whip up a poem in a few seconds? The answer? Well, it's AI, obviously. But what is an AI model, for real? In this explainer, we're going to demystify this whole thing.
So our goal here is simple: to give you a plain English guide, a look under the hood at what's really happening when you use AI. And honestly, understanding the basics isn't just about satisfying your curiosity, it's about helping you use these tools way more effectively and, more responsibly.
I mean, let's be real. AI is everywhere now. It helps draft our emails, it creates these incredible images, it can feel like straight-up magic. But here's the thing, it's not. And understanding how it actually works, that's the key to unlocking its full potential while avoiding the pitfalls. Because think about it, the same tech that helps the scientist to analyze complex data can also just make up a completely fictional story.
Okay, so first things first, let's get one thing straight. AI is not one single thing. Not at all. It's this huge umbrella term that covers a whole range of technologies. For example, your spam filter, that's AI, using a pretty simple set of rules. A movie recommendation engine, that's a more complex AI predicting what you'll want to watch. A doctor using AI to analyze an X-ray, that's AI too.
For this explainer, we're going to zero in on one specific type of AI, the one that has totally taken the world by storm: large language models, or LLMs. And the name kind of gives it away, right? They're trained on these massive, and I mean massive amounts of text data, which lets them understand and generate language that sounds totally human. These are the engines behind the big names you know, like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. So, how do we get our heads around how these things actually work? Well, we're going to use a simple but really powerful analogy: baking a pie. Just imagine you're in the kitchen ready to create a masterpiece. What do you need? The philosopher Virginia Dignam put it perfectly. By itself, a recipe has never turned into an apple pie. In other words, the recipe is just a set of instructions. The final pie you get depends on the quality of your ingredients and, of course, the skill of the baker. The exact same thing is true for AI.
Okay, let's break this down. In our analogy, the recipe is the algorithm. That's the mathematical structure the AI follows. The ingredients are the massive amounts of data it's trained on. The technique? That's all the human feedback and choices made during the training process. And the finished pie? Well, that's the AI model itself.
So, we've got our recipe, our ingredients, and our technique. Now let's talk about the oven. What's the fundamental mechanism that's actually baking our AI pie and letting it generate text?
Well, in traditional programming, a developer writes explicit hard-coded rules, like if the English word is cat, then the Spanish word is gato. But an LLM learns completely differently. It's not given a dictionary. Instead, it's shown billions of sentences in both languages, and it just learns the statistical patterns of how they relate, all on its own.
And here's the absolute crucial point. AI is a master of mimicry, not a mind. What looks like it's understanding something is actually just incredibly sophisticated pattern matching. The model isn't thinking, it's just predicting the next most likely word based on the countless patterns it learned from all that data. That's it.
All right, so our AI pie is baked, but we're not done yet. Just like a baker might add a layer of frosting or some sprinkles, developers add extra layers to an AI model to give it brand new capabilities. And one of the most popular toppings for our AI pie is something called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or just RAG. The easiest way to think about it is like giving your AI a library card with internet access. With RAG, the model can look up information from an external source, like the web, to answer questions about things that happened long after its initial training was done.
So how does that actually work? Well, let's say you ask, who won the last World Cup? First, the retrieval layer goes out and searches the web for that answer. Then, the model layer takes that information and uses its pattern matching skills to put it into a clear sentence for you, like, Argentina won the last World Cup. This brings us to another key distinction. Think of it like a car. The model, like GPT-4, that's the engine. But the product, like ChatGPT, that's the whole car. The car has the steering wheel, the brakes, the dashboard, all the stuff designed to make it easy and safe for you to use. In the same way, a product like ChatGPT has its own interface and safety filters to give you a better and safer experience. So we've learned how to bake our AI pie. Now, it's time for the taste test. Let's talk about why all of this matters and how you can actually use this knowledge in your daily life.
For families, just remember that every AI pie is different. Some are sweet, some are savory, and yeah, some might even be a little bit sour. It's really important to be a discerning consumer of AI. You can encourage critical thinking by asking questions like, what ingredients went into this AI, and who baked it?
And for organizations, the lesson is pretty clear. You are the baker. When you choose an AI tool, you're not just buying a finished pie. A lot of the time, you're just buying the recipe. It's on you to choose the right ingredients and use the right techniques to create a product that is safe, reliable, and actually effective.
So, we've learned that AI is a master of mimicry. It just completes patterns. But what happens when it mimics the wrong things? What happens when it confidently tells you something that sounds plausible but is just completely wrong? Like telling you the sky is green, or that 2 + 2 = 5.
Well, that's exactly what we'll be exploring in our next explainer, when we dive into the weird and wonderful world of why AI makes things up. In the meantime, the next time you use an AI, ask yourself, is this a master chef or is it just a clever copycat? Thanks for tuning in.